So looking at rent to rent, when I then started to do the coaching and the mentorship, I found my first deal. So when I found my first deal, I needed to fund it by like about £7,000. Okay. So I found the deal. I didn't have the money. So I sold it.
So you sourced it out.
That's it.
Yeah. So I sold it. So when I sold it, I made £1,850 or so. So when I sold it, I found another one. I sold it. I made another £1,850. I was like, boy,
This is crazy.
I was like, this is...
Okay, you're making money now.
I said, so a couple of hours on Rightmove and then gave it to somebody else that wanted the deal. I just made £1,850 like that. I'm like, Uber. I wrote the date down.
It's okay.
So now this is 2017, yeah?
Okay.
I wrote the date down. I was like, September 2018, I'm not going to drive you anymore. I'm going to be driving this car. I literally visualized what I'm going to do. So
I like that.
I sold 2 deals. Now I have almost £4,000.
Yep.
At that time, Vanquish credit card has increased my limit from 150 to around about £1,000+ Then I had applied again for Capital One. Capital One then gave me about £2,000 limit. So when I have the two, I got the third deal now. I put the 4K together, and then I whacked my credit card on it. That was my first rental deal.
Wow.
And now,
humble beginnings.
let me even say this
Real
to you.
humble beginnings.
Let me say this to you. So when I secured my first rent-to-rent deal, now I put my credit card, I put the money that's coming from the deal, I've secured it. After securing the deal, I went back home. I told my wife, I said, baby, we're going to be rich now. I just secured my first rent-to-rent deal. This property, I'm going to make £600 profit every single month. Then my wife looked at me. She's like, you went to rent a property.
Hey.
What if tenant does not rent it on the room by room? Me, I've not seen where people actually rent property on a room by room basis. I'm like, well, I've been doing this training. It's going to work. She's like, okay, but if it doesn't work, you now have a problem of about £2,000 rent you need to pay to another landlord. Plus, we have our mortgage to pay. We have our council tax to pay. We have water bill to pay. Where's that going to come from? Bro, I panicked. And I literally pick up the phone to call the lettings agent that I actually was going to give them the keys back. That unfortunately I made a mistake. Then I spoke to someone now told me there's a 14-day clause on the contract. I should go and read it. That by law, if you break from 14 days, at that time I didn't know that 14 days you can pull out of a tenancy.
Okay.
So I actually went on this particular common law tenancy. It was actually there on that clause.
Okay.
I went back to the letters agent. I was like, and then they said, they go speak to their manager, XYZ, but I'm going to lose all my money and everything else. I was like, I don't care, I remember they said they'll call me back the next day. So they called me back the next day. I didn't pick. I was driving Uber. And I tried calling them back. All right. And the manager was not available. I just said, you know what?
Let's give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot. Now, the first week passed.
Hey, no tenant.
No tenant.
Hey! 7 days left.
The second week passed.
Hey.
No tenant.
Hey.
Now, you can imagine that feeling. So I'm like, I've got my taxi problem. I need to drive more Uber. Now, I need to even increase from 18 hours to 20 hours just to
no sleep. Just forget sleep now.
So I just kept banging. To lo and behold, the 16th day.
Wow.
16th day, my first tenant secure the property.
Wow.
Pay that time. You can take fees from tenants. I took my fees. To be honest, I've never said this on any podcast. I'm going to give it.
I know what you're going to say.
I actually charged the tenant that time. I charged them the fee I charged them was even more. I charged them the fee at the time you're only allowed to charge referencing fee So me, I just came out, I just charged £500. They just paid it anyway because they were international students.
So they have money. So just like
I charged £500. They paid me. Then I did the reference and everything else. Then they paid all the fees and everything.
You probably didn't even care whoever you are. Just take the room.
Just pay. I said I will give you the room, but as long as you pay me £500. Like no problem. I said, but the rule, I can only take 1 week, but I'm charging £250 extra from whatever that 1 week rent is because of this. I explained to them. And she's like, yeah, don't worry. I can even, she even ended up giving me drink on the 500.
Wow.
So I ended up making about $750 in total. Wow. She was very nice and everything. I was like, I said, your referencing fee is meant to be $250. She said, listen, I've spoken to so many agents. Nobody gave me a room. So instantly, I made £500 plus referencing fee, £750. The month rent was due.
Hey.
All right. So before I knew everything, I had £750. Then she called in another of her friend. I made the same £750. My first month's rent was paid.
Wow.
By the end of that month, I got it was a 4-room property, a four bedroom rent to rent.
Yeah.
I got the whole thing tenanted.
Perfect.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, oh my
It works.
days, it worked.
it worked.
Then I panicked.
What location was this as well?
South London.
South London.
Hey.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that was just the real story of how I did my first deal.
That's an amazing.